went out for a coffee in a different cafe. It's just a 2-minute walk from my house. There's so many here. And it has looked a little different. So sometimes I get it like this, and the milk is on the bottom, and you have to mix it in. So this is the sweetened condensed milk, and you have to mix it in. And I've gotten that before here in HaiPhong. In Ho Chi Minh, I don't think that's a thing. The other thing is they give you just, I think it's just a lot more ice in Ho Chi Minh City, but you get a big tall glass of it, but it's mostly ice, so it's probably about the same amount of coffee here, but here it's smaller. So this is how I'm starting my day off. Okay, I'm still sitting at this cafe, and you see all kinds of crazy things go by. Like, look at the stuff they carry on the back of a bike. But the most crazy thing is I just saw a Rolls Royce drive by. Okay, here's an interesting twist. This couple came in over here next to me, and theirs looks bigger. Their coffee looks like the one I got in Ho Chi Minh. A big tall glass of milk coffee. So I think I have to figure out how to order that. I'm not ordering right. Okay, I just rode on the back of a motorbike, and it's actually not my first time riding on the back of a motorbike. It's really inevitable here. You can't avoid it, and I knew that. So as you can see, I bought my own helmet because whereas most of the laws here seem to be like take them or leave them, for some reason they're very strict about the helmet law. Everybody riding a motorbike has to be wearing a helmet, and so when you take a grab bike or you ride on the back of somebody's bike, they always give you a helmet, and that was kind of the part I didn't like. I didn't want to use the shared helmet. So, you know, they're all sweaty and whatever, mice, all that stuff. So I bought my own helmet, and now I'm ready to go. And this was actually my third ride on the back of a motorbike. For example, one of the administrators at the language center took me to buy a Vietnamese phone. She took me on the back of her bike. And this time I was on the back of the bike because I'm going to look at another apartment. So the guy showed up with his bike to take me to exactly where the apartment was. And basically, it's kind of fun, but you just have to like not look at the traffic. I just kind of focus on the back of the driver's helmet. Don't look too much at the traffic because what they do is just so crazy, weaving in and out between trucks. Yeah, it's pretty scary. At the same time, it's a little fun and exciting, as I said. And also, it's like 70 degrees and sunny here today. And up north here, everybody's wearing these puffy jackets, like it's winter, and it is winter for them. And as you see, I put mine on today because my friend told me that it's actually pretty cold on the bike. I didn't need it today because it's super warm. Okay, I just got off the bike. I just came back from going to look at another apartment. And of course, I had to be all kinds of crazy and go look at another apartment, even though I absolutely love my apartment. But I know I'm sort of overpaying, but that's okay. I'm gonna show you my apartment later. And I absolutely love it, but I just wanted to see what else was out there. So that's it. I'm done with the crazy. I'm not going to look at anything else. This apartment was nice and a little bit bigger. And the balcony looks right over the river, but it's really kind of overlooking a very main strip. And I'll bet it's louder than my place. It was cheaper, bigger and cheaper, and a bit of a more extensive kitchen, but I don't plan to do any cooking here anyways. But anyway, let me tell you how things work here though. So it's my day off, and of course I lost part of my day off going to look at that apartment. I got to the meeting place at 10 o'clock, which was when we agreed to meet. And of course there's a text from him saying, oh, the landlord's running a little bit late. I'll be there at 10:10. I was like, okay. So I went to a cafe and had a coffee. He showed up at about 10:15. He drove me to the front door of the apartment, and then we get there and he goes, "Oh, the landlord's not here yet. Please wait." So then we waited another 5 minutes or so. It wasn't too bad. Errand for fools. But anyway, had to see what was out there. Now I'm done. I'm satisfied, and I'm going to stay where I am. There was one more thing I forgot to talk about in regards to my work. In case you're wondering about the other teachers, because I think this is kind of interesting. And I'm talking about where the teachers are from. So at my center, there's a smattering of people from different countries. Like me, I'm from the US, and then there's one from Serbia, there's a guy from Spain, there's a couple from Russia, but the vast majority are half from the Philippines and half from South Africa. There's a lot of Filipinos here, and I don't know how I didn't know this, but apparently they speak English in the Philippines. And the Filipinos are, the ones here, are completely bilingual. So all of the education in the Philippines, from what I understand, is done in English, all of their schooling. So the Filipinos that are here, they speak English like an American with a very slight accent. I mean, if you're a native speaker, you can hear the accent. I can hear the accent. But most people who are not native speakers probably wouldn't even be able to hear their accent. They are completely bilingual. So I didn't know that about the Philippines. And they're here to make money because for them, this is a lot of money to take back to the Philippines in the Filipino economy. And then there's the South Africans. And the South Africans, I want to talk a little bit about that too, because I kind of feel for the South Africans because they don't really have a country to go home to, it seems like. I grew up in the era of end apartheid on the college campus in the 80s where I went to school. There were all these protests. Ending apartheid was the big movement of the day. Well, then apartheid ended and it was like, yay, we won, it was over. But I never really followed up or heard anything about South Africa after apartheid was over. And of course, it left in its wake a big mess to clean up because, similar to the legacy of slavery in the United States, how do you make reparations and normalize things after such a long period of discrimination? So what it sounds like is South Africa sort of implemented a sort of affirmative action like on steroids program. So a lot of employers really went out of their way and were bending over to give opportunities to people of color, as they should. However, what it did was it made it very hard for white people to find opportunities there. So with that combined with high crime from what I heard, and the rand is completely worthless, it's dropping in value all the time. Some of these South Africans really have like nowhere to go. They can't get into Europe at all. Like they can't even get tourist visas to Europe from what I heard. Europe won't let them in, probably because they know they're going to stay. So there's a lot of South Africans that come here. So the South Africans, like the Filipinos, are here for the money. For them, it's a place where they can make good money and have a good standard of living. And in the case of the Filipinos, they can send money home too. And I think they all send a lot of money home. So that's who makes up most of the workforce. The people that come here on euros or pounds or US dollars, well, we're here more for the experience. There's a few that come and stay for good, but the Filipinos really come and stay for a long time, and some of the South Africans come and stay like permanently. Okay, there's one other interesting little tidbit I want to show you about my life here in Vietnam. This is just a very minor detail, but this is my bed, and it's only made up because the cleaners were here today. Believe me, I'm not a bed maker. But I want to show you something on the comforter here. So in my life, it's always been a problem that the comforter falls down inside the comforter cover and you have parts of empty comforter or duvet cover with no filling or comforter underneath. So here's what they have here. I'll unzip it a little bit just to show you. And on the corners here, in the corners, it's hard to do while I'm holding the camera, there's these little ties. Each corner is tied to the inside of the comforter. This little piece goes through a loop on the comforter and they tie it to the comforter cover, each corner. So the comforter stays perfectly flat and distributed throughout the comforter case. I don't know, maybe we have that in the US, but I've never seen it. I mean, the Vietnamese are so ingenious about so many things.